so just be prepared. I might have to stop myself a couple of times. This has been an amazing day. It was just wonderful to celebrate a one-year birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to this Barony. All of the members of this populace that have worked so hard to create this and to keep it alive. Thank you all for indulging us with the awards that we have given out, and we do have a few more.
It isn't over yet.
Yes, exactly, but wait, there's more. So in order to accommodate that, I'll let His Majesty speak and we can get started. Thank you.
Yes, had a phenomenal day of fighting. The fighters up here, of course, are awesome. And thank you for letting me do the first round in your tournament. Because, yes, I couldn't. Last year, I almost got it. Where's Dan? I almost took him out last year. Yeah. So, had a wonderful time. I wish I could have been on the rapier field today, but that was not to be. But we got some things taken care of, which is awesome. So, without further ado, let's get this party rolling.
Your Grace Timmur. Oh, first, you have their Majesty's leave to make yourself comfortable. We're going to do that, and everybody's going to stand up for you.
Except for you, yeah.
Your Grace, is there something happening like south of the border of the kingdom, like a couple weeks?
Hi, everybody!
Hi, Timmur!
How's everyone doing today? Did everyone have fun? So today, before we continue with court, I need to bring a message. A message from their Royal Majesties. A decree. A call to arms. The time is upon us. You hear the drums from the south. Outlands calls. Artemisia is prepared to go to war! Yes, this year we will be aligning ourselves with Outlands, correct? Yes. With Outlands now. Still in negotiations, but yes. We're in negotiations, but honestly it does not matter.
They're going well.
It does not matter who we negotiate with and who we end up with, because Australia War has become an incredible fun war as it was in the past. It is a place where I would strongly encourage every Artemisia, if you can go, to go. The fighting is fierce. The arts and sciences competitions are beautiful. The shopping is amazing.
Shopping!
And every year, we do incredibly well across the board. But every year, in one field, specifically, our rapier community, that's our field.
Woo!
So, gentles of Artemisia, warriors, artisans, our wonderful service, which I have to say, service once again, year after year, we show them what is to be Artemisia. As one of the smaller kingdoms that ever go there, we put in so many hours. Please go. Please support their majesties. Show them what it is to be part of the Griffin host as we walk to war!
War!
Thank you.
And pre-register.
Pre-register is important because you know what's really lousy about going to war?
No land.
Not having any land.
Pre-registration closes February 1st.
Pre-registration closes February 1st. Anything else I need to say?
You can pay it through PayPal.
No, we're good. Thank you so much.
When you pre-register, please contact Iskert on the Artemisian Invasion page.
Yes.
And
Invasion of the Australia War.
yes, so that way we can track it and make sure that we get the land we are allocated, because His Majesty Morgan, I've been in contact with him. We are sharing a courtyard again, like we did 2 years ago, and we are going to be face to face with Aitenveld, but we will be fighting with Outlands.
Or
Outlands or whoever. Yeah, but mostly out.
now, one last public service announcement. This is kind of personal. We only during the beginning of their Majesty's reign, they start out with 400.
Yes.
400 of those incredible keychains. We only have 63 left. So if you want one, you better come talk to me at the end of this event because they're going, and I'm happy to see them gone because they're awesome. Anyway, Your Majesty, your Excellencies, thank you so much.
Your Majesty, their Excellencies Griffin's Lair via their ambassador and their seneschal has an announcement about before we even get to war.
May I address from back here? Thank you. 12th night in Griffin's Lair. Next weekend. Come on down. We'll treat you like family.
I'll be there.
They'll be there.
I don't want to be treated like my family.
If you
You'll be
can,
there.
go to the regional practice if you can't make it down there, please.
Or regional. Thank you. That was all.
And when is the regional practice, Your Majesty? Sunday?
Next Sunday, yes. Down
Sunday
over
after
in Anaconda.
Oh, yes.
So, the Northern Regional Practice getting ready for war.
War!
Oh, that was sad.
War!
Thank you.
President's Day. Your Excellencies, you got anything going on tonight? Any business you want to take care of? On your birthday? Yeah. It's your birthday.
Reheat, herein reopens the courts of their excellencies, the Baron and Baroness of Bronzehelm.
So a couple of tournaments were held, and a couple of people were victorious.
Well,
Want me to hold that for you?
His Grace Timmur, please come up.
I will go over there.
Master Conchobhar.
I got it. Yeah.
Oh, come on. I'm the one who closed that, Conchobhar.
And Ladyship Johanna, please come forward.
Turn it.
I'm going to leave you all in the safety of here. But if you weren't able to witness, we had 3 awesome tournaments, all going on around the same time, so it was difficult to see them all. But we have 3 amazing new champions for our barony.
None of which from our barony.
What this means is they have to come back next year.
It's true, it's true.
Or it means you have to move
Honorary-
here. We're not sure yet.
Honorary members.
They can figure it out.
Can you figure it out? So, His Grace Timmur is our belly dance.
I don't know who said that, but I love that.
No, watch this. I do have bardic powers. Watch this. Watch. Everyone stand for a moment. Stand. Okay, bardic commands. Put your right foot in, put your right foot out, put your right foot in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. All right, everyone sit down.
What do you do with the Timmur? Timmur is our armored combat champion. Timmur, you get this.
How am I going to fit in that tent? Can I wash it on fire?
David did, yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Put Damon back in there with you.
That would be very,
Oh,
okay, fine.
no.
Oh, sure.
Sizing.
You're sure on the
On this day, a great tournament was held in the Barony of Bronzehelm. All armored warriors throughout the land were invited to come and demonstrate their skill at arms. And valiant were those who fought the field. Now, at the close of the day, in consideration of the skill and honor you displayed upon the field, His Grace Timmur shall be named the Baronial Armor Champion of the Barony of Bronzehelm on this 5th day of January on a Societatis 53, being the year 2019 in the Common Era.
Give me more stuff.
Yes, that is it. Yes. That is it.
Scroll was by.
Scroll is by Sophia Iversdotter.
Connor, you are the rapier. Say Connor. I was actually told by Connor that Conchobhar is the wrong way to pronounce it. I'm like, oh, I did not know. It's Connor? Okay. You want our rapier?
And that's sizing.
Maybe a bit.
He does drool.
I missed your performance at the bardic.
It was very lovely.
Watching the fighting. So, can you tell me what you performed?
Well, I sang a song about a certain blue fuzzy guy that I wrote in about 10 minutes.
Cookie Monster.
And, yeah, that may have been, there may have been a theme going with the bardic entry. But anyway. Well, what can I say? You keep some inspirational people on this one.
Alright, do whatever you
Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead.
We have scrolls for both of them. On this day, rapier combatants from near and far throughout the forest lands tested their skills and prowess with the art of the blade upon the fields, with one true champion emerging victorious. Conchobhar shall be named the Baronial Rapier Champion of the Barony of Bronzehelm on this 5th day of January at a Societatis 53, being the year 2019 Common Record. Another scroll by Sophia.
She's good.
can't have her.
Be it known unto those who behold this award, Johanna has displayed great skill in the performing arts and in the competition to determine who might best serve their excellencies as bard. Til the Lucky and Isabella Rostel, Baron and Baroness of these lands, are pleased to acknowledge her achievement by naming her the Barony of Bronzehelm's Baronial Bard! Done in accordance with our will this 5th day of January, in the 53rd year of society being 2019 in common reckoning. Another Sophia Iversdotter.
You're so lucky to get those scrolls. Oh, I believe that. You guys are awesome, and I want to thank you all for participating and being victorious and coming up here at such a long distance. I really appreciate all of you.
What is that, Your Excellency? You want us to lay waste the rest of the baronies? We
Yes!
can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Lay waste the rest of the baronies.
Do not.
Well, they haven't taken oaths yet, so they're technically not ours, right?
Oath them up.
Yep.
Champion.
Who wrote one for this part?
Okay.
Champions, are you prepared to take an oath?
Ooh.
Alright. Repeat after me. This day do I accept the position as the champion of the Barony of Bronzehelm. I pledge my service to the barony to defend and support at all times and be vigilant as champion at all times. This day do I swear. So say I. Johanna Devire. Your Excellencies. And do we.
And do we?
Dylan and Isabel.
Hear these oaths.
We hear these oaths
They're still babies.
and are pleased. And we swear to support
And aid you in your duty.
and aid you in your duty as we are able. Oh, that'd be so tough.
Three cheers for our newest champions! Vivat!
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 Vivat! That's nice.
Okay.
Their Excellencies, call for Lawler Scaldari.
He
He left.
he left. He had
Yeah. He has to pick up his wife from work, so he just left. He's trying to stay as long as he could.
Your Excellencies, call forward Djarl. Deralt.
It's like, who, me?
Oh, that guy.
It's just easy that way. This man has been participating in our barony since it was a shire, and he's recently come back after a little hiatus, and come back and has done a lot of things for our barony, and his service is
You do good.
But his service in the field of fencing is what I recognize him for today. So, that's up more.
Rock can be shaped and honed with skill and effort. Rock is our solid foundation. It holds our history and provides the building material for the future. It is art, shelter, and weapon. The Order of the Rock was created to acknowledge those in Bronzehelm who excel in the arts of martial combat, effort, determination, skill, and prowess. Protecting and enriching those within our barony, Djarl, Galendson is one such individual. We are honored to induct Djarl as a member of this order for his contribution to the rapier weapons. Decreed this 5th day of January, and a Societatis 53, being 2019 in the Common Era. Illumination and calligraphy by Baron Til the Lucky and Baroness Isabel Leorostel.
Woo!
Thank you, my friend.
I know. It's called Kingdom Camping. And it will be in our realms. So we would like to call forward Penelope and Vigdis to speak about this amazing event.
What?
Not Gillian.
Alright, speak up. Oh, I love you.
This is when you're thrown under the wagon.
I see that. We had a plan. This was not the plan. So, as Her Excellency just announced, we are going to be holding the Kingdom Camping event on Kings Road, and it is going to be hosted by us July 4th through the 7th of this year.
Some of the wonderful things and events that we have planned so far is we are going to be doing a fundraiser tourney. It'll be called Tibor's Tourney for Autism. And another one that we are planning on doing is a social dance and fun evening of game tournament Saturday evening. And that's just some of the things we have out, and we will get more information out to you. But please come join us, have a nice camping event. If any of you have been to any of our tournaments, like a Crown Tournament or anything, it's out at Swift River. So we get to camp at that wonderful, beautiful site. So please come join us, and we'll get you some more information here very shortly.
Thank you. I was more towards the plan.
Their Excellencies call forward Ulrich. Dun, dun, dun.
Ba 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 bum.
Sure.
May 4th, we will be having a collegiate sharing of information and knowledge here in our beautiful barony on May 4th, if I did not repeat that. I am May 4th.
The 4th of May. The 4th of May.
I am currently looking for teachers to sign up for classes. We do have a cribbage tournament lined up, and more to come as dates come closer. Thank you.
We want to thank you all for being here today. It has been a glorious day full of activities. I couldn't even get to everything, and I tried. Thank you all for coming and celebrating this epic day with us.
Thank you very much.
Hearing closes in court of Their Excellencies of Bronzehelm.
There's C-1000.
Yes. I'm going to keep it short because those people have been standing up way too long. I was going to say I had a great time, but you really don't care if I had a great time or not. Did you have a great time?
Woo!
I have enjoyed coming to the north for a very long time. And I've been to all the groups up here, and I think about all the wonderful times we had. One of my very first events that I traveled away from my barony was Dragon's Tear, Shire Sandler, up at the camp.
Yeah.
It was great. Castle Lyon, remember Griffin's Fury?
Oh, yeah.
Great. Whipping wins, what can you say? Here's what we can't say. More Artemisian need come and fight so the Abercrollians don't whip us so bad.
Right.
We did beat them in the first battle this year. True, but they also forgot how to fight war. We reminded them very quickly.
Boom.
Sentinels Keep, I can't tell you how many times I've been to Sentinels Keep and the fun I've had there. And Bronzehelm, I came over here when you were barely a shire and stayed and had a wonderful time doing demos and thinking about an event at Laurel down south on the river. Great time. Listen, there was as many people here tonight as there was at Solstice Court. Put that in your minds, Northerners. Okay, put that in your mind, Southerners. Okay? Here's what I want to tell you. I've been playing a long time. My very first event was the first Artemisian Coronet list. So I have been here for the entire time of Artemisia. I'm going to keep this short. But the North is what Artemisia was. The North is what Artemisia was. Keep that and reinfect those others. So they return to what Artemisia was and quit trying to be someone else. Keep this. This was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Herein opens the court of their excellency, Sentinels Keep.
Kind of hard to follow that. I had a great time. I enjoy coming over here. I was in the barony for quite a while, and then I ran away. But, thoroughly enjoyed the day, talking to folks, seeing a lot of folks that I haven't for a while. I'd like to reiterate what His Majesty said. There's a regional fighter practice on next weekend, next Saturday, over in Anaconda. Sunday, excuse me. I don't remember the address off the top of my head, but it is on the baronial web page or Facebook page, and we'd like to see all of you there if we can.
Hard to get lost in Anaconda. Hard to get lost in Anaconda.
True. There will be one more before war, the 9th of February, which again is a Sunday. It's the Sunday after Love Revel, so as you're traveling home from Love Revel, just stop by and throw a few blows at the practice. Crass commercial announcement. We have an event coming up on March 23rd, the Spring Feast. We'd love to see all of you there. The site will be in Lolo. And artisans, it's our arts and sciences competition and display. So please come.
I had a wonderful time. I'm sorry I didn't go outside. Bob, you throw a great party. By the way, that's Barony of Bronzehelm. Bob, spread the word. As you said, we got our hearts a long time, for a while ago, and we still love coming over here and seeing our old family, our old friends, and meeting our new ones. It's so wonderful. My mother says make sure you all send out messages that you got home safe so she won't worry. Thank you so much. We hope to see you at our event next week.
Wait.
Saturday. It's this Saturday. The 12th is Saturday.
The 12th is Saturday, which is when we're having our regional fighter practice.
I sit correctly.
Excellency Arn Hold, do you have anything?
Pray heed the words of the dread Baron of Arn Hold.
Didn't we have moose for feast?
Take a step to your left. Step to your left. You're behind the pillar. Oh my gosh, that was really hard.
Again, echoing the words of my cousins, thank you again for hosting such a wonderful event. I got to hear some of the bardic and was delighted with that. I got to go over and do some fighting, and it's the first fighting event I've been to in a few months. Some of you know what that means, and I enjoyed every minute of every bout with everybody I got to fight today. Thank you so much, not just to Til and Isabel, but also to the feast steward and the event steward and the people of this barony for continuing the tradition of my having a lovely, lovely time every time I come up to Montana. It is wonderful. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
At this time, their majesties would call forward the Autocrat and the Feast Steward for this event.
Oh. You can stand up, is what they said.
See, look at that.
There she is. So. Please accept this from us as a thank you for doing such a wonderful job.
We want to recognize you for all the work you guys put in, all the effort to plan such an amazing day. Thank you so much. We appreciate all you do. And then if you guys have any announcements for the populace on cleanup setup?
You have any announcements about finishing up? Never mind, I'm going to sit over here.
The ladies got it, Your Majesty.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who came, and I met some amazing new people. I had a wonderful time. I hope you enjoyed the event that we put on. We worked really hard, so thank you guys again. As far as cleanup goes, for those of you who are going to stay and help up, all the chairs need to be stacked against that wall. All the tables, once the Royal Pavilion is put down, all the tables need to be stacked against this wall. And that should be everything.
And there's carts for the tables.
Yes, carts, which we'll pull out as soon as the pavilion's done.
For everyone who loaned us serving gear and anything else for the kitchen, we thank you greatly. Please make sure to come by the kitchen and claim what is yours. I think we've mostly got things segregated out. Let us know if we're missing anything that belongs to you. And then also please, this back table over here are some things that I was not able to use for feast or leftovers. Please help yourself to anything that's on that back table up against the coolers. We'd like to share with you all, and thank you all for coming and for all your kind words as well. Greatly appreciated.
I know we all had a wonderful time at the event and feast today. For our event and feast steward, Vivat! 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 The Majesties call before them Lord Lyon.
Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. Thank you.
Aww.
Pillow. You're welcome. Wow, I watched you on the field today. Yes, he was. He was marshalling and helping. He was definitely involved.
I'm sorry, I must have missed that when I came in.
So, just love that you are out there all the time. And I've seen you on and off over the years, of course, constantly out there doing all that you do on that field, and either on it or assisting with it. We know you train a lot, everybody, and you learn a lot from everybody. You're well-rounded, and definitely something needs to be handled, and I'm gonna let her talk about it.
One of the absolutely wonderful things that a queen gets to do is watch the rapier and be part of that. There's a special bond that we are supposed to have, and it is our job to watch you and to hopefully inspire you, but to also take inspiration from you. Our rapier community is amazing, and it is because we have people who are willing to teach, and they're willing to learn, and
and sharing of knowledge and various things like that. So we felt that there was a recognition that you might deserve. So we would like to take care of that today. Scroll is the
mystery. Scroll is first. Even without the scroll, we'll get to that.
Yes.
At this time, for his dedication and skill in the teaching and art of defense, their majesties, Yuri and Samea, Khan, Khatun, Artemisia, do make Lord Lyon now a member of the Defenseurs de l'Ordre du Papillon.
Would like you to know.
You got dust in your eye.
Yeah.
Dirt from
Yeah.
the Eric. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Oh, it's smoky in
Look
here.
over your shoulder just a smidge right this way. Yeah. That lady provided this scarf for you.
Off my arm today.
So just keep doing what you're doing and enjoy it. And I look forward to seeing you in the field even more.
Not too tight.
If he can feel his fingers, it's not tight enough.
True story.
For the newest defender of the Order of the Papillon, Vivat!
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 Look at those cat-like reflexes there.
Her for giving up her.
And yes.
Oh yeah.
And for Jermaine, who is
Yeah.
She knows how often.
Passing it on.
She's on.
Not giving it up, passing it on.
passing it on.
Passing it on.
Yeah.
My lady.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You deserve it.
Oh, yeah. You want to keep going? All right. At this time, the majesties demand the presence of Tamsin.
Oh. What'd you do, Tam Tam?
Borrow that from me for a second.
Oh. Oh.
No one else.
I'll start speaking. Does that sound good? While you're... Okay.
We're sharpening the axe.
Hey, look at me. I'm really not mean, I promise. So, you've been spending a lot of time on the archery field for quite a few years now. One or two. You marshal, and you help teach. And just all around trying and bring others in to enjoy what you find enjoyable in archery. So there are things that we get to do. There's recognition that we can give to people that say thank you. And this recognition came from a group of what I consider your peers. So with that, please.
Lo! Artemisian archers are known throughout the known world and are greatly respected. Yuri and Samea, griffin crowns of mighty Artemisia, have sought examples of those who exhibit skill and teach all who would learn. Thus, we create Tamsin Sutherland, a member of the Strongbow's Yeoman. On this 5th day of January. Anno Societatis 53, being 2019. Yuri, Khan, Sumea, Katun.
That's Barrier, right?
Yes, it is Barrier.
Thank you so much, and please continue to be a force on that field. Cheers, please.
For the newest Strongbow of Artemisia, Viva!
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 There you go.
It's fabric.
Oh, now you're on the front.
It's fabric. It's a fabric. Oh. Okay. You can go ahead and you just stay over here. Please. Please go ahead. Thank you. Ow.
You okay? You good?
Their Majesties would call before them Giovanni de Medici.
Yeah.
Giovanni de Medici. Hey, you think somebody more?
Yeah. You.
What is it?
Sorry, I new guy. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Some of these guys, you just can't get them. They have a hard time. It's French, right?
Yeah, it's French.
If any of you have ever watched Yuri Herald, it's all French.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah, you know, I've known you for quite a while and enjoyed every time I visit with you and hang with you. And you know, you're always out helping. You're always out doing either teaching or learning or drumming or who knows what you do. You just do everything. It's wonderful. And of course, you know, when you guys all saw the pillars in this group, it was quite a bit. So, you know, that type of stuff happens all the time up here, and you have been an integral part of that. So we have realized there's something missing.
The mighty and vast kingdom of Artemisia is brimming with those who would serve crown and kingdom. Their service is known throughout the known world. Yuri and Sumea, griffin crowns of those same lands, have seen the vast and unending service provided by Giovanni, and would, at this time, grant him a golden sun in splendor.
No idea.
Done this 5th day of January, Anno Societatis 53, being 2019 in the common. Yuri, Khan, Sumea, Tatu.
Another Varia scroll, of course. We know you'll never stop doing what you do, and we're glad that we were able to present this to you.
Thank you.
For the newest Sun and Splendor, Viva! 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 There being no further business.
Whoa! Someone's getting fired.
Just remember, you've got to get past us to get him.
Hell, I'll throw him over the throne.
The strength and stability of the kingdom is found within the virtues of its people who provide arms in times of war, art in times of peace, and service in times of need. There are those who stand in its defense with their words and swords, facing its foes with courage and honor. They are fierce in battle, protectors of the innocent, generous with knowledge, examples of courtesy, skill, and grace, bringing honor to our queen and our kingdom. Their majesties require those members of the Order of Defense here present to attend them at this time. Roll.
They said grab the rug to put on your leg.
The crown calls His Excellency Albion Robynsson.
Your Excellencies, all. You summon him, he is here. He is a founding member of the Dutch Mafia. He is the premier bard of the Barony of Sentinels Keep and a companion of the minstrels within. He received a maple leaf when the kingdom was merely a principality. He is a possessor of the Quadlobe. He has been awarded arms. He is the premier of the Order of the Gold Scar. He has been granted the Golden Maple Leaf as the kingdom. He has been granted arms. He bears the Order of the Key Cross.
He is a defender of the White Scarf. He is a crown baron. He is 3 times the Bard of Artemisia. And he is the captain of the Flying Dutchman within the Artemisian fleet.
Your Majesties, you have summoned this man to ask him a question. Would you ask it of him at this time?
Yes. As we said earlier, a couple weeks ago at Sextus Court, we proposed a question to you, and we would like to know what your answer is. Will you accept being admitted into the Order of Defense?
I will.
That's the right answer.
The rest of us would be awkward otherwise. Good answer. The symbol of the Order of Defense is a white livery collar showing the fealty and duty a master is required to accept, and the purity of spirit with which they share their talents to all who would seek their guidance. The collar bears the device of 3 crossed rapiers, showing the camaraderie peculiar to the order and the rapier community. Is there a collar?
Yes, there is.
We will pass this around so that all members might be able to we will pass this medallion around so that all members might have a moment to provide their good feelings and love for you.
Is there a member of the chivalry that will speak on behalf of this man?
There is.
I've known Albion for well over 2 decades. He's always been one of the notable characters in the SCA. And years later, I learned that that's what we call a peer. Albion and I used to fence quite regularly when I lived in Erdun. I remember when I thought that I started beating him more often than he beat me. And then he got cataract surgery. And I found out I was beating a blind guy. He stood out as a teacher and as a student of historical fencing for years. For decades, I've heard of his students, from his students, of what Albion has been teaching, learning, and studying. The one thing that comes most to my memory is the talk about the almost mystical Spanish circle. So as a knight, I'm here to speak of the knightly virtues and of his prowess. And I can say that he surpasses my expectations of that of a master. I've witnessed him winning on the list field against fencers that were decades younger than him. And I know that skill is what wins the day when one's opponents are bigger, or faster, or stronger, or younger. I wholeheartedly endorse this man for the Order of the Master of Defense. And I ask you to recognize this peer that walks among us.
Is there a member of the Order of the Laurel that will speak for this man?
Your Majesties, I'm a niece of Pangborn, a member of the Laurel. You took half my speech, young man.
I just found it laying around and
as Vilas announced when he brought Albion in, he's been thrice Bard of Artemisia. He's our premier Bard for Sentinels Keep. He's taught the Spanish Circle. He is a shining example of every peer-like quality in one man. I am thrilled to be able to recommend that you make him a Master of Defense. He is the best example of noblesse oblige I have ever seen. Thank you.
Is there a member of the Order of the Pelican that will speak on this man's behalf?
Yes, Your Majesties. I am Azir de la Serra, and I have known this man for many years. I have fought beside him. I have bled on the field with him. I have learned from him. He shares his knowledge willingly and freely. He is wholeheartedly one of giving, and giving of himself, both in his music, he gives to the rest of us. He shares his heart with all of us, with every word, every strum of his guitar. He gives of himself. That is what makes a peer, to give of yourself. You measure a man by how well he fights, how well he serves. But when one gives of himself, it is my honor to speak on behalf of my brothers and sisters of the Pelican that he serves this kingdom with his heart and soul. So it is with my deepest and greatest love for this man that I endorse him and ask you to make him a member of the Defenders so that he can serve his kingdom even further and continue his great career as part of one of our best of Artemisia.
Is there a member of the Order of Defense that would speak for this man?
There is, with your permission. I am Cormac MacTarran, Premier Member of the Order of Defense for Artemisia. I've known this man for 22 years. When I first started doing this, he was already well known, well renowned. He was one of the guys to beat. And his skill back then, like I said, he was good. I made it a point to track him down a few times, and he schooled me, and he taught me. He's one of the few up here that took the time to teach a crusty old barbarian, and I learned from him, and many of us up here have. There's not too many up here that have not learned from him. His generosity, his givingness, his skill. I was at Griffin's Fury when he killed 7 men. They were his own men.
Was this before the cataract?
He is a shining example of leadership and grace and honor and chivalry. And he's getting a little long in the tooth. He's actually older than I am. But there is nobody older than you. I know, hard to believe.
There's
nobody
things older than
that I would rather have fighting
It's
alongside me
Stonehenge.
than this man. I wholly
by 15 minutes
and fully support his membership into this order.
Your Majesties, normally at this time in the ceremony, I would ask if there was a Lady of the Rose that would speak for him, but as your Majesty well knows, there isn't a Lady of the Rose that will speak for him. So, first things first, Your Lordship Velith, could you please read the letter from Countess Esther?
Unto the sublime rulers who are the Sultan of Sultans, the Sovereign of Sovereigns, the dispensers of coronets to the nobility on the face of the lands, the sultans and sovereign lords of all Artemisia, conquerors by the force of their arms, and which their august majesty has made subject their flaming sword and the victorious blade, the might of the kingdom, the champions of the sultanate, the heroes of the earth, heaven grant you immortal state and eternal happiness. Accept this affectionate greeting and this friendly letter, considering it a token of our goodwill. Does your servant Esther Bat Baruch lay herself at your feet? It is my privilege as a Lady of the Rose to send good words of Baron Albion Robynsson, your defender of the White Scarf. I have had the pleasure of knowing His Excellency for many years. He is a perfect courtier in skill, honesty, respect, superior intellect, dignity, and a gentleman of the highest character, and will provide wisdom in matters of weighty affairs. Baron Albion sets a tone of grandeur and gallantry with his courteous and noble behavior, an ornament to your most chivalrous court, both at home and abroad. His rapier ability and dedication recommend him to shield the queen and serve the crown as a peer of the realm. I implore your majesties to let Baron Albion be held up in the eyes of your subjects as a master of defense. In doing as you do, you shall be, as you be, the example of princes, the ornament of this age, and the most excellent fruit of your progenitors, and the perfect mirror of your posterity. My lips kiss your radiant sword. Shultana, Mu Alinama, Esther Bat Kaim, Baruch Ha, Kushtandinya, Rabati.
There was a second letter from Her Grace Courtland, which, after discussing with Her Majesty, to be personally delivered. No, just
sorry.
that one. To be personally delivered, and yet to be read. Her Grace Veronique has a missive from Her Grace Karin.
For Don Albion, Your Majesty, I am Duchess Karin von Katzenberg, and I will speak for this man. Don Albion is a gentleman of chivalry and courtesy, who holds not only the ladies of the Rose, but all ladies in high regard. He brings us honor on the field of combat, where he is formidable and a courageous foe. He serves this kingdom with his art as well as with his blade, and has brought honor to the cloak of the Bard of Artemisia. He is always ready to sing his own songs and those of others for the enjoyment and inspiration of all. He enriches our presence with his art. He does these things with a noble demeanor well befitting a peer, and his respect and honor for the crown and kingdom of Artemisia know no bounds. Your Majesties, I believe that this gentleman embodies all the qualities we hope to find in a peer of Artemisia, and I beg that you will elevate him to this rank.
Is there a member of the populace that would speak for this man?
I will.
I am Matheus de Petyn, and it is my honor to speak for His Lordship Albion. I've known Albion now for 25 years. I was at his very first fighters practice. I was there when he became the premier gold scar. I was there when he earned his white scar. I have seen him grow from an eager newcomer to a challenging fight, to my equal, to what he is now. I have had him as a student and watched with pleasure as he became a teacher. For the past quarter century, I have watched Albion share his love for music, his love for fencing, his love for the society with all he encounters. I don't think I've ever seen him turn someone away or refuse anyone help. The one thing I have not seen grow or change over the years is his honor. It remains the core of what he is, and it glows just as bright as it did when I met him all those years ago. When someone speaks of fencing in Northern Artemisia, you see Albion. He is our face. He is our glory. He is our honor. He is the master of defense.
You okay? Just put your chair back like 3 inches. Got it. Yeah.
This is to not wash away Albion, but to bring forth that which is the master of defense, Albion. It is a gift for you from
their Excellencies
Til the Lucky.
We're gonna need to scoot back by like 3 more inches. No, it's actually for them when they do the color.
Technical difference.
We would now hear your
I, Albion, Robynsson, do affirm this oath to live by honor and for glory, to serve Her Majesty the Queen in all valor and virtue, to maintain the kingdom in the power of Babad, to protect the weak and helpless, and give succor to orphans and widows, to never turn my back on a foe, and to never refuse a challenge, to hold faith in honor and honesty, and at all times to speak the truth, guarding the honor of this order and of my fellow masters of defense, that the flame of chivalry may burn bright. So say I, Albion, Robynsson.
as with the chivalry, we, as queens, are allowed the honor of girding new knights with their belts, and we pass that honor onto their ladies. And that tradition is also carried on in the Master of Defense. If you would please, and I will help you if you would like.
Members of the Order, please rise and draw your swords and prepare to assist Her Majesty.
We dub thee once for grace. We dub thee twice for honor. We dub thee Master of Defense. Let this kiss be the last kiss that ever goes undefended.
There is a pair of gloves to be presented to His Excellency.
Hope I can get through this. I'm trying.
In days of old, I've heard it said, the ancients watched the stars, and in them saw their stories told anew. They saw their gods and heroes moving in their nightly dance, but one star called Polaris didn't move. Our kingdom has its legends too, though some have feet of clay, their noble deeds and valor told afar. But it's what he does for others, not the victor of the day, that shows a hero true who, like that star, becomes a single point of light fixed in the heavens. Gleaming bright, he serves to light the way. Mark the path for those who follow, a sure and steady blaze. So he becomes our northern star. Lord Albion is one, please, to those whose lives he's touched, a light set on a hill that can't be hid. He's given us his music, his wisdom and his blade. He gave his kingdom all that honor bid. And those of us who call him friend have come to know his word. His dignity and joy have blessed us all. The greatness of his spirit, his willingness to serve, is a legacy he's built that will not fall. He is a single point of light fixed in the heavens. Gleaming bright, he helps other people shine. While some may boast of mighty deeds, his works will tell it fine. this warrior bard, our northern star. For many years in countless wars, I have fought by his side and learned from him what honor ought to be. The stories and adventures, the laughter and the songs have been a priceless gift he's given me. So now the time has come at last, his prowess recognized, this fierce and tireless servant of the dream. The accolade is given by the Queen's own blessed hand. His star is rising now, and watch it beam. He is a single point of light fixed in the heavens, gleaming bright upon the newly fallen snow, as he takes his rightful place among the heroes and the bold, our own beloved Northern Star. As he takes his rightful place among the heroes and the bold, our Albion, our Northern Star. Woo!
We're letting everybody else see it first.
Whereas on the first day of May, on Societas 50, there was established the Order of Defense in the kingdoms of the known world, whose members shall be distinguished by their skill in the arts of defense, as well as by their qualities of nobility, virtue, and courtesy, and the report and witness of diverse persons worthy to be taken of word and credence. Therefore we, Yuri and Samea, rightful Khan and Khatun of Artemisia, by our especial grace and certain knowledge of the virtues of our subject, Albion Robynsson, are minded to name him a member of the right noble order of defense, to be in all places accounted a peer of our realm, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto, given at our court at 12th night in the Barony of Bronzehelm on this, the 5th day of January, Anno Societatis 53, being the year 2019 in the common reckoning. Yuri, Khan, Sumer, Khatun. Scroll by Sophia Iversdottir. The frame by William Thorson. Albion, would you actually like to see your scroll? See, that's not ready.
And just as a side note, this stunning frame that you have here is made. William got for you. It is rosewood from Gibson. From Gibson. For you. And then.
But wait, there's more.
Yes, but wait, there's more. Because you are so loved. Because you are so loved by not only Artemisia, but by members specifically in Montana. There is a second, not necessarily scroll, but a gift for you.
Artwork.
Just a second. Thank you. Yes. The artwork is by Master Cormac. The calligraphy is by Mistress Tamsin, and the beautiful frame is from William. Yes, please.
If you don't mind, could I?
Oh.
Absolutely, Mr. Clement.
I don't need that.
Oh,
okay. This is a saying that I actually wanted my tombstone if I get a tombstone. But I thought it fit him quite well. We shall all be dead for 10,000 years, floating in darkness, remembering that for a time, some of us, but not all of us, were swordsmen.
Would you please stand?
If you can.
Could you turn around, please? You understand okay?
Yes.
We present to you Master Albion.
Company, march!
Artemisia, for the newest master of defense of this kingdom and of the society, vivat! 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 There being no further business in their Majesty's court, herein closes the court of Yuri and Sumaya, Khan, Khatun, rulers of all Artemisia. Long live the king! Long live the king! Long live the queen! Long live the queen!